What if F1 drivers had unlimited use of DRS around Monza? This has of course happened in the past when they used to have unlimited use of DRS in practice and qualifying. I've also done it on Spa before, but of course I had to do it around the template speed. You have to do it at Monza. You also have to be the Ferrari at Monza. This is just the rules. I don't make the rules. Of course we're going to be F1 2020, and I've modified the game to have 5 DRS zones. So every single straight has got a DRS zone. There's also 5 detection points, which should make for quite good racing throughout the race. First of all, let's jump on a side-by-side comparison of with unlimited DRS and with normal DRS. So here we go then, we've got the normal DRS on top, and we've got the unlimited DRS on the bottom. I've split the screen top to bottom, just so you can see the speed and the DRS usage, which normally when I do a side-by-side split, you can't see that. So anyway then, running across the line, they're nicely in sync as we cross the line there. And you see quite similar speed down here. This is of course the DRS straight for both, but the bottom is still slightly quicker, just had that slight head start on the DRS, but actually reaching very, very similar VMAX top speed. You see a little mistake on the top screen there. I do lose about 1/10 and a bit through that first turn in particular. Building up speed now. Once again, DRS open through Curva Grande here. Normally that is not the case. You can see I'm going quite a bit faster down this straight. Let's have a look when we hit the shadow under the bridge. We're doing 335 on the bottom, only 325 on the top. So 10 kilometers an hour difference with DRS down that straight. That's quite significant. Into the next turn then we're going to be doing 380 or so on the bottom, but then 280, and about 270 I think on the top, something like that. So again, about 5 or 10 kilometers an hour difference there. So a fairly substantial chunk of time. Again, absolutely free lap time. Once again, DRS on both screens, but the bottom one got to open it slightly earlier, so you can see got a slightly head start, reaching very similar top speeds, but just getting a slight advantage by having DRS open a little bit earlier down that straight, coming through Ascari. Now you can see the difference, really starting to bear out. The bottom with unlimited DRS is really significantly ahead. Once again, another straight with DRS when the top doesn't have any DRS at all. Again, about 10 kilometers an hour quicker. VMAX about 340, only about 326, I think it was, something like that for the top screen. So really quite a significant difference on the longer straights. Of course, the more drag you have, the more speed you got, the bigger bit difference that makes. And there we go then, crossing the line some 6/10 quicker for unlimited DRS compared to limited DRS. Now let's get into a race. Okay, here we go then, on board for the race start. We of course starting from the back of the grid, and of course we don't get DRS until lap 3. So I'll just show you guys the race start, and then we'll get on to lap 3. We're going to get some DRS. Pretty good launch there away from the grid. Getting a good launch ahead of it. Latifi, see if we can go up his inside. Grosjean's coming right to the inside, so we're not going to go around the outside of him. I'm paid a bit of contact. Oh, see you later, Romain Grosjean. And, well, while I sit in this traffic jam, I will let you guys skip to lap 3 to see how far up the grid I get, and also to see some unlimited DRS action. Just before we get on to lap 3 with DRS, it's Editor Alex here to ask you to please subscribe if you haven't already. If you do enjoy this content, if you do enjoy these mods, please subscribe. It does really help a channel on my size. We hit 42k subs the other day, which is amazing, but we're trying to hit 100k this year. We've got a long way to go. It can't be done without your guys' help, so please hit the big red button down below. Let's get back to the video. Okay, you join me coming on to lap 3 then. Of course, no DRS until we get to about turn 1. That is going to be our first activation point. I'm going to absolutely dive bomb Romain Grosjean here, just because I know he's in a slower car and I don't want to get held up by him. You can see there's already a gap developing ahead, so I don't want to try and minimize those gaps. Although we are going to get DRS on Daniel Kvyat. DRS is now enabled. First detection point is in turn 1, so we'll get around Curva Grande, and I think Kvyat isn't going to get it. We tried to save a little bit of our charge as well, and I've got plenty of fuel, of course, to attack, so hopefully we should be able to attack the guys ahead reasonably well, even though we've only got a couple of laps to do it now. Using a bit of actually, we didn't get DRS there, interestingly. We must not have been within a second coming to turn 1. It's right in the middle of turn 1, so I must have just dropped out of it coming turn 1 because I didn't use it. There we go, we do get it now, though. Managed to close in enough down that last straight, but of course this is not a place you can really overtake, but we'll get a little bit of a speed advantage from it nonetheless. Coming now through the tight right-handers and trying to see how early I open DRS. That was quite nice there. Of course, this is normally a DRS straight, but you just get DRS a little bit early, which is to get a bit more of a speed boost, but I'm not going to be able to get up to Daniel Kvyat with just DRS alone. I suspect he must use some overtake DRS again. I'm trying to conserve that a little bit so I can try and attack the car's head again. DRS down this straight, you don't normally get it down here at all. Can we get it? We still can't get him, actually. He's using a lot of battery to stay ahead of us, I think. Either that or he's just rapid in a straight line. We are, of course, in the Ferrari, which isn't the fastest car in a straight line in 2020. Hopefully they're a bit better in 2021. All right, let's do it now. We're going to overtake him this straight no matter what. Lots of DRS. We're also going to use some overtake ERS just to make sure of it. And again, the AlphaTauri is absolutely rapid in a straight line. You can't be using battery every single straight. We managed to get past him that time. Luckily, the car's ahead are battling as well. So we need to just now see how quickly we can get up to their DRS. We have actually got a fair gap to them, but again, they were battling just then, so hopefully they'll be slowing each other down nicely and we can get up to them ASAP. We're going to use lots of battery to see if we can just about get up to them on the final lap of this race. We've not actually been able to make that much for Den on that last lap, interestingly. He's still 2 seconds back, and we've used a lot of ERS. We used as much as we possibly could on that lap. We were half a second up on our best lap, but just not able to close in. That is the nature of DRS, of course. Look at the pack ahead of them as well, because in fact, I'm going to have to watch a replay of what's going on ahead there, because that looked like a whole lot of cars side by side. This is the battle I was talking about. So is it actually a bit further ahead here? Yeah, look at this, look. 3 cars almost side by side, end up 2 side by side. Couple of cars behind side by side, because of course they've all got DRS. They're all able to stick with each other so well. See, just opening DRS on the exit here, all able to stick with each other so well. It's just almost impossible to pull away. I just about managed to pull the gap to Daniel Kvyat behind me and get him out of my DRS, but you see he's right there still, and he probably is still going to get it this lap. So I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of naughtiness in the next chicane, because again, we're still 2 seconds back. So it's interesting, he really just, and that's using so much battery as well. So clearly DRS isn't necessarily, unlimited DRS isn't necessarily the best for racing. Now, as I said, we're going to do a little bit of naughtiness in this corner, just so we can catch them and have some sort of ending to this video. Let them go now though, but should get DRS though in the next section, not quite this section. And again, always impressed with how well the AI adapts. See, they're opening DRS in this section, which of course not a section you normally get DRS. And we're struggling a little bit at the moment. I'm going to open DRS now. I don't think we're not going to overtake him, you know. We've used too much battery. We're too far back. The Ferrari's too slow in a straight line. And look how far ahead they are. Interesting. So I thought DRS would create like some mad, you know, like we saw ahead, some constantly sort of 3 wide type action. But it actually creates the opposite. As soon as there's a second gap, you just lose the DRS. It's almost like oval racing. As soon as you lose the slipstream, that's it. And this is the same with DRS. It's fascinating. And look, just not able to make an impression, because they've both got DRS. I think actually only one of them's got DRS now, but just not able to make an impression. So actually, guys, turns out unlimited DRS is actually worse for racing. And of course, in the past, it wasn't used unlimited in the race. It was used only in one zone, actually, in the race, I think, initially. It was only unlimited in practice and qualifying. I would still love to see it used unlimited in qualifying, because it's, you know, it adds an extra element. It adds a, can I keep my DRS open through, you know, this mad corner that's almost flat out, thinking of like Pouon type corners. Curva Grande in the past, but now that would even be flat with DRS, no problem. And it just adds an extra element to it, adds extra speed. I would like to see it, but unfortunately we probably won't. It is probably just classed as too dangerous around certain corners. But clearly in the race, actually more DRS isn't necessarily good, and we do see some tracks going up to sort of 3 DRS zones. So I wonder at what point it starts to become worse for the racing by having too much DRS. I don't really know. I don't really have an answer for that one, but clearly today, that much DRS at Monza made the racing worse. There's no doubt about that. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I thank you for watching. Bye-bye.